What did a crush do that made you instantly lose interest in him? Her.
She asked me to prom. I said yeah. 2 days before prom, I actually don't want to go with you. But I already bought both of our tickets. As the guy, I expect you to pay me back for them. I tried to explain that's not how transactions work. She kept telling me it was my responsibility. I asked if she was smoking crack. Never heard from her again. He said that he doesn't like ugly people and they all should die or be put in a corner. He threw my sister's birthday card for our mom out of the car's window as a joke. Even though my sis told him she spent 6 hours making it. He made my sister cry. Edit. I too would have liked to throw him out of the window, but we were young at that time. Coming home from school and a driver was set to pick the 3 of us. I did ask the driver to stop the car, but it was the middle of the road, so he said we can't. Not me but my wife before we met. There was an event in Salt Lake City and she was from Northern Washington. She had a crush on this guy and decided to join carpooling with him and couple other people. They stopped to grab some fast food and went back on their way.
Well, as soon as he finished eating, drinking, he tossed the whole bag out the window while driving.
After that, she barely talked to him, and once they got to SLC she left him and joined some other friends and went back home with him instead. He was an ass to our teacher because he was going to play baseball in college. Looked him up and he's definitely not doing it professionally and hasn't graduated yet. Edit. I looked him up to see if he was a professional baseball player yet. I like to see if anyone that was good at sports succeeded.
And he's kind of bounced around from university to university.
Since it's been over 4 years since high school. That's why I threw in that he hadn't graduated yet. Told me SB out his stash of kiddie porn. Yes, I did report it. Went on a date with a guy to a Chinese restaurant, and as we were leaving he threw trash on their ground when there was a trash can a few feet away. Then we went to his house to watch a movie and he picked his cat up by the scruff of its neck and threw it. Not to set it down to get it off the counter kinda thing, but a legit throw across the room. I left right then and there and told him why. He called me a bitch and a tease. For whatever reason.
Never gave him the impression I was going to sleep with him that night.
And was yelling at me as I was backing my car out of his drive. I got to the end of his road and blocked his number. Made fun of a chick who was into him for being chubby. He was fluffy himself. And I called him on it and walked away from that.
A few things.
She told me she hated how much guys share their feelings, emotions now. She said that if she dates someone she wants them to be a typical man, and not show any type of weakness.
One of those things like,
I don't want to hear if a man is sad or upset. I just don't care. She liked pretty heavy music. Like prog metal and hardcore music. Which is cool. However, she didn't like anything else and would blatantly put down any other type of music and or not give it a chance. Almost made you feel stupid for liking anything else. Showed her a friend's artwork and her response was, yeah, not impressive. It would be impressive if they did X and Y. Quote, like I understand that you don't have to like every person's art, but her demeanor about it was too condescending. Edit. Didn't realize this comment would get as big as it did. TBH, I have no hard feelings to her. We moved on. It's okay. And for sure I don't think it's representative of all women. People have their own preferences. What she liked just wasn't my thing. They poked fun at my mom. Going to a primarily white school. Him and a group of his guy friends always made fun of how she dressed and how short she was.
I didn't super know him.
But he was a part of the group that did.
And that's all I needed to know.
My mom is this sweet, short Asian woman who loves to smile. And yes, She sometimes wears goofy clothing. But no one makes fun of my mama. No one. He drove like an idiot while I was in the car.
I literally thought he was going to kill us.
And he was road raging the whole time. This was on the highway too. I asked him to stop driving like that and he didn't. Never going out with him again. Hey, we still good for tomorrow? Quote, sorry, my boyfriend wants to come over. Great way to find out she both forgot about our plans and had a BF. Asked her out. She said yes. Then, she dumped me 2 weeks in saying she didn't want to start anything new because she was moving in a month and didn't tell me. Then that time came for her to move, and where does she move? Into my house. She got with my roommate that looks creepily close to how I look. We would often get mistaken for brothers, twins even, and started a committed relationship with him. There were some thin walls in that house too. Crush on a girl my junior year of college. She liked to heavily make fun of people, and I mean hard. Like to the point I would say hi to someone I knew. After we walked off, she would have some remark. She went from attractive to not wanting to be around her really quickly.
She started posting videos of her making out with drunk old men to her Snap. We're both in college.
This guy that I'd been talking to for a while on Tinder, who I thought was cool, cute, but he never seemed down to meet up. One time he randomly messaged me to say he'd gone over to someone's place and they'd had sex 3 times. I think he was trying to make me jealous, but it just made me feel a bit gross. Found out she was a cousin.
We were in class together and it was all a pure coincidence.
Neither of us had any idea until a family member casually mentioned to me, doesn't her name go to your school? Quote, well, crap, was crushing on this girl for fucking months. And it turns out at her last apartment she stole $1,500 for coke and abruptly ended the lease, giving her 2 roommates barely any time at all to find new housing. One of which had to move back in with their abusive mother. She fucked my dad. We were 5, had planned to marry when we got older with a pancake cake and everything. I was invited to his birthday party and he and his friend was climbing a tree with him being higher up. Suddenly he pees down on his friend. We never got married. You shouldn't play Dungeons and Dragons You know, when you cast the spells in the game, you're actually casting them in your spirit. And that lets the devil get into you. I was like, wait. And I'm supposed to be the one who can't tell reality from fiction. Quote, acting like a complete dickhead. And when I addressed it he said, I know I'm an asshole, but I'm really sexy, like, okay. Suddenly, you're really not sexy at all. Found out he was a serial cheater and cheated on his exes with strippers and masseuses. Edit.
Just to clarify,
he had sex with them. Some people in the comments didn't quite get it. Got someone pregnant.
I worked up the courage to ask this girl to go on a date.
She said yes.
On the date,
she proceeded to spend the whole time gossiping about anyone and everyone she could talk bad about. I still remember the moment it clicked that she was just super shallow and mean. Dude, she knocked over my Lego Death Star. She had to go. He tossed an empty drink bottle onto a random lawn as we walked down the street. Threw rocks at a cat because she thought it was funny. Not my crush, but someone who had a crush on me, also I was told. She asked for my birthday, and I told her. She then calculated that I was younger than her by a week or so and straight up said to me, I did have a crush on a guy, but then I found out he was younger than me, so now there's not crush. Damn dude. We were out drinking. He got drunk and started fighting a guy that he thought had been harassing me. The guy said he didn't harass me. I said he didn't harass me.
My crush still tried to defend me.
Never lost interest faster. Used a baby voice when speaking to me. Here's a light-hearted one. I developed my first crush when I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. This was right around the time when Pokemon were first becoming really popular. So naturally I was obsessed with them. I had the cards, the Game Boy games,
etc.
One day I overheard the girl I had a crush on talking to her friends at recess about how weird
Pokemon were,
and thus in a flash a young love was extinguished.
Fast forward about 22 years and my wife also doesn't like Pokemon. Because life is strange.
Just because I enjoy the company of kids and babies.
She told me that I was a creep and a pedophile.
Just because I love having kids around doesn't mean I want to have sex with them.
Tortured a housefly and gave an oral book report trashing my favorite book.
At the time, for being boring and having too many words. Then started bragging he could have any girl in the school he wanted. And #X200B. Shortest crush of my life. I had a crush on a guy in 5th grade.
He found out about my crush and made a really hateful nickname for me and teased me about my body.
Got all of his friends to tease me too. Realizing he was a garbage person set me straight pretty quickly. He was mean to his mom. Demanded money from her so we could go out in front of me, and then called his grandma to get some more money so we could go out.
So uncomfortable.
Edit. Let me add more details. We were both around 21-20 seconds. I met this person, drove from the Midwest to Dallas with him, and was essentially stuck there for 2 days before my train was scheduled to leave. This behavior was not acceptable at all, and I felt uncomfortable the entire time. Got in his car for a date and he rolled down his window and threw about 5 fast food cups out on their side of the road. Made a comment about there being enough illegals around to clean up after him. Nope. Not something that she did, but her breath smelled like shit, literally like shit. I had been seeing this girl for 2 months in college and things were going alright. I was helping her move when she decided it was the moment to have a serious talk. She sat me down and in a very serious tone told me she had been doing some digging. She confronted me with the fact that I had dated black women. I kind of thought it was a joke at first. I guess my brain couldn't comprehend that this was still a thing. No.
She was dead serious and explained to me that while she had nothing against black people, she
didn't believe in mixing races. I was dumbfounded. I got up and walked out.